Are we live? Are we live? We are live. All right, let me see if I can get like all the way in frame. That'd be a plus. Hello, hello, hello. I can't tell you how thankful I am to be here with breath in my body and access to be able to connect with you and give you what's in my heart, what God and nature and nurture has put in me to hopefully be a blessing, hopefully offer something that is nourishing to your heart and your mind and your spirit and your life, something that you can take inside and use as a seed to grow the abundant and rich life that you are meant to have, your special life path. So this is the Healthy Habits Huddle. We're here every Sunday 10 o'clock Pacific time. I know it's different for different people around the country and around the world, but weekly on Sundays, I want this to be your huddle, your place to drop in and reconnect with your health goals. One of the biggest challenges, and we're going to talk about this today, it's the topic of today's huddle, but one of the biggest challenges anytime we want to improve or change or grow or be renewed or be different or expand, one of the toughest things is we can literally just forget what it was we felt so inspired to start doing. We can forget. And having a huddle, having a place to come back to weekly where I can say, hey, remember you had some goals for yourself. Remember you wanted to live a healthier lifestyle. Remember, we've talked about at least 9 different areas of health. Health has to do with wholeness. It has to do with authenticity. It has to do with showing up as the spiffiest, freshest, richest, most abounding version of yourself. And so use this time for that. I hope you have a planner, a notebook, a couple of Post-its, the back of an envelope, something, some way, some place where you've jotted down some things you want for yourself in terms of healthier life, in terms of a richer life in whatever way that matters to you, and that you use this huddle every week to open up that book and look at it, or that piece of paper, whatever it is, check back with your mind, the notes on your phone, however you like to track, and say, where am I with this? Oh my gosh, it's been a week and I haven't thought at all about, I don't know, learning another language or lowering my blood sugar or starting walking, starting a habit of walking, whatever. We've got a lot of different things we've talked about, but I want you to be able to check back in here each week. Please use this time for yourself. And I'm not going to talk forever. I'll be on, I'll say what I have to say. And then maybe you use the rest of the time, if you blocked 30 minutes or if you blocked an hour or whatever, maybe you use the rest of that time to actually take action on what it is that you set up for yourself. We are getting ready. What? Who's in the house? I got healthy hair in the house. I got Chroma in the house. I got my girl Shell in the house. Mwah, 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 mwah. The A team. That's who I've got in the house right now. Nothing but the best. I always say I only F with the best, and that is especially true today. I'm so happy to see y'all here. Let's get into it. Today's topic is the number one mental skill that people do not think that they need, that you don't think that you need when you're on your journey. But I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you, you definitely do need it. And you may already know this is something important. I'm just here to remind you and reinforce and hopefully speak some richness in around it. So the number one skill that I'm talking about is the ability to reset, to recover, to begin again, to mess up and get back on to fall off and get back on the horse, to mess up and then say, that's okay, I'm gonna try again. We have to be like toddlers. We have to be like babies. When you see a toddler, a baby learning to walk and wants to be a toddler, wants to toddle, they fall down, they get up, they fall down, they get up. But it is so challenging as an adult. It is so challenging to confront the fact that I haven't done it yet. I'm not there yet. It is such a confront to the ego. The ego can want to protect itself and want to have this image of self as like, oh, I'm so great, I'm so powerful, yeah, I'm gonna do anything that I set out to do. I'm this, I'm that, da, 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 da. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh, I failed. Oh, and failure, we gotta embrace it because it's gonna be a part of the journey. But the ego can get very brittle around not executing perfectly. But this is a time to grow. This is a time to massage those parts of ourselves that feel like they need that kind of ego protection and say, honey, it's okay. This is not a time to go in and become extra critical of self. This is not a time to give up. This is not a time to let go of dreams. This is a time to say, oh, I messed up and I'm still here. As long as I have breath in my body, I can begin again. And that is the number one most important skill in terms of muscle building for a healthy lifestyle. The number one most important muscle, I'll call it, is that muscle to just say, okay, I got to get back up. Okay, I got to recommit. Okay, I got to show back up. Okay, I got to get back into it. I gave up. I failed. I didn't make it. I fell on my face. I made a fool of myself. I said I was going to go on a diet and I overate. Whatever it is, it's going to happen on your journey. Guaranteed, guaranteed, because this is a growth process and growth does not happen linearly. Growth happens up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down over time. So the line is not straight. It's not just a straight arrow. When you hear people who did XYZ overnight and then it stuck and all of that, it is extremely rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying it is extremely rare. And typically, in my experience, when I've heard of things like that, it has been such a dramatic thing that intervened to stop the momentum they had on the lifestyle that they were living. Really huge, dramatic, and sometimes traumatic things happen to change a person in a moment. We don't need that kind of extremeness in our life just to live a healthy lifestyle. We talked about 9 different areas: physical, mental, spiritual, emotional health. We talked about sexual health. We talked about self care, financial health. I always have to look at them. Healthy leveling up, healthy relationships, healthy daily life management, stress management. There's so many different areas, and beyond this list that we've been talking about, but there's so many different areas of life where you can be more whole, where you can do more, and you have to be ready to fail at it and get back up and fail at it and get back up. I talk about it as being consistent despite inconsistency. So I want you to take this into your week, and I want you to remember when you're trying to make a decision or you're trying to do the thing you set out to do, or you realize that you totally forgot that you had this goal or this new thing you were going to do. I want you to say, oh my God, good. I have an opportunity now to get back on the horse. I can do something that's IER. What is IER? Anybody remember what the 3 most important letters, why IER are the 3 most important letters? It stands for health. It stands for, it's not an acronym, but it's the IER at the end of health, healthier. People want to be healthy. There's no such singular thing. We are all having a relationship that is dynamic with our wholeness, with our health. And so as you go into your week, you have an opportunity every time you remember, oh, snap, I'm supposed to be doing this or I'm supposed to be doing that. Well, what can I do right now in this moment that would be healthier? Healthier. Maybe I can't, I already ordered the big plate of fried macaroni and cheese balls when I said I wasn't going to, eat like this anymore. I wasn't going to eat fried food, whatever. What can I do right now that's healthier? Well, maybe I have half a portion instead of the whole thing. Or maybe, do you see what I'm saying? Doesn't matter, but you're building that muscle. You're building that muscle to get back on. You're building that muscle to recommit. You're building that muscle to begin again. You see what I'm saying? So it's a really important thing. If I mean, and I can tell you examples and I'll give you some stories and some anecdotes just so you can have it in your head. This has been true for myself in so many different ways. I'll start here. We've all heard of like somebody like Michael Jordan kicked off the basketball team in high school or freshman. He was a freshman or something and couldn't make the team or something and just recommitted and practice, made the team, obviously became iconic in basketball, but he failed. He failed to make the team, got back on the horse, developed that muscle. They talk about that, to use another basketball example, they talk about it all the time with like the highest scorers will also be the people who missed the most. Well, why? Because they got back on the horse. They took another shot. They shot, they missed, and guess what they did? They used that muscle. They said, screw that. That's over. I'm going to shoot again. I'm going to try again. I'm not going to give up on myself. We have to be able to reset and not crucify ourselves mentally, not abandon ourselves emotionally, not shame ourselves. We have to be able to remain our own advocates in those kinds of situations. And it is really a combination of humility and pride. Humility and saying, okay, well, yeah, I didn't do that thing that I said I was going to do, or I forgot, or I failed, or I maybe set out to do something a little bit that was more ambitious than what I can handle. So I have the humility to say, okay, I don't have to pretend like, oh, I'm above that or whatever. I have the humility to say, that didn't go great. But I also have the pride to say, you know what, I deserve a second chance. And I give me the second chance. I don't have to ask anybody else. You have to give yourself the second chance. So this ability to get back on the horse, this ability to reset, this ability to forgive and begin again, all of that. And thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Chroma Lush is giving me strong. I love it. Thank you, baby. That is extremely, extremely important. People quitting addiction behaviors. I know someone personally who tried and failed and tried and failed, dealt with all the emotion, all of the physical devastation that can come from an addiction, legal consequences, relationship consequences for years and years and years, quitting the addiction with alcohol, quitting the addiction, stopping the behavior, still not having healed enough underneath it or gotten where that person needed to be underneath it in order to be able to sustain the non, addictive behavior or whatever. Tried and failed, 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 years. And then it worked. Tried again and it worked. They did it themselves. And that was 25 years ago. Not a drop. Tried and failed, tried and failed. With that muscle of I'm going to try again. Can you imagine going back again after that many failures and you care that much and you can't get control of it and you try again? Hell yes. Success. Success comes on the back of this tiny little muscle of reset, try again, reset, try again. Don't count yourself out. Got to do it. Tiny little muscle. We can build it. We can make it really strong. And it's a lever. It's crucial, 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 crucial thing. For myself, I can tell you, I had adrenal fatigue. I was working myself too hard, and I was completely stressed out, too long, too hard, too intense. And when the stressful work event finally culminated, literally within the week, I had symptoms I'd never had before. I had migraine headaches. I was seeing aura, like I had, what do they, I don't know if you see auras, but I was like seeing weird stuff, like it was crazy. I had to go, I got my hormones checked, all this. They said, oh, your adrenals are done, sis. Well, there's no cure for it. You have to do this, you have to do that. They put me on, what did they put me on? They put me on some kind of medication. I was like, I know I ain't gonna be on that. Oh, my thyroid. It was some thyroid medication. They're like, your thyroid's messed up. Basically, I had messed up my glandular system for stressing out too much, right? I wasn't being healthy in my management of my daily life. I was letting my work really ruin my health. And I got so depleted from messing up my adrenal system and being on in that fight or flight for so long, so intense, at such a high rate, that I couldn't exercise. I would get done with work and I would fall out in the bed and sleep until the next day. I mean, this went on and went on and went on and went on. I couldn't, there's no way I could have like gone for gone to the gym or gone, hey, let me start a healthy thing. I'm going to go jogging. No, there was no way. My exercise plan, I never let it go in my mind. I was like, oh, I'll be healthy again. I'll be healthy again. I'll be healthy again. I never let it out of my mind, but that's as far as I could take it. I didn't have any physical energy. But in time, I taught myself and thought myself to a place where maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. And I got to a place where I could literally go out, I could walk out of my apartment and I could walk to the end of the block and I could walk back. And that was my workout. And I was whooped. That was a thing I lived. I don't know if I would still be on medications and still be tired. I don't know what would have happened to me had I not used that little muscle that said, I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. Now, today I didn't have any energy, but I'm going to try again. I'll be back. I'll be back. And I'm back, baby. I am back. I'm back. And I've been back for a while. That was years ago. Something more recent, I don't know what happened, but during the pandemic, I just started getting knee pain. I don't know what happened. I don't know why to this day that happened. Maybe I was sitting more at my desk. Maybe it was stress. Maybe I don't know. But I started having knee pain, which got really, really bad to the point I couldn't sit cross-legged. I couldn't like bend my knees down like to go pick something up. I was like, how is this happening? It wasn't an injury. I don't know what happened. But I didn't give up, didn't give up, didn't give up. I couldn't really work out. I couldn't run, which I love running, but I stayed true to it. And my dream of fixing my knees, I found somebody on YouTube who is an expert at this, who, started damaging his knees when he was like a kid in middle school or high school or something like that, and developed this whole program. And he made it financially like available and not too expensive, and I could afford it. And I started doing his program and I rehabbed my knees back from not being able painfully to barely like walk, rehab them back. Then I failed. Then I Then I stopped doing those workouts because life got crazy. I was moving, I was doing this, doing that, and the knee pain started to come back. And I was like, what the hell? And so it's been kind of an up and down thing. And then finally, recently, I've gotten it to the point where I can run again. Literally just within the past, I don't know, a couple of months, I've been so tender with it because I don't want to lose the ability to run. I love to run, but it was that I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna get back on it. It's not there today, but it can be there. So that's my message for you today. The number one most important mental skill that you can have is you got to expect failure and have the mental um, power, have the mental strength to not count yourself out. Reset, begin again, try again, start small. Never give up on yourself. Never get down on yourself. Even if you do beat yourself up, and you say, oh, shoot, I'm not supposed to beat myself up, guess what you got to do? Begin again. Begin again. That is my message today. Let's see here. Crow says, taught myself, thought myself. Oh, I love this. I love you. Thank you so much. And then Healthy says, way to go, way to push through your healing. Oh, baby, thank you so much. And it's it's here for all of us to use. Our lives are treasures. It's a precious precious gift, and I just want you to have the best time possible. We have this life right now. How much life can we live while we're here? I don't know what happens after we leave here. You know, I've studied a bunch of stuff, and I there are lots of philosophies and ideas. um, but one thing I know is anytime I see or hear about loss, someone who's not here anymore, or someone um, missing someone who's gone, it always makes me think, I hope they lived. You know, I hope they did it. So that's my wish for you today is I hope you do it. And when you fail to do it, I hope you use that little muscle and stretch that little muscle and strengthen that little muscle and say, it's okay. Just because I can't do it today doesn't mean I can't do it. And I'm going to reset and I'm going to begin again. All right, I love you. Thank you for showing up to the huddle. High fives. Everybody put it in. Fist, pound, pound. And that's it. That's it. I love you. Take care. And I'll see you next week, 10 o'clock, Sundays, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. I hope that you're back. Mental fortitude. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I know that's right. Perfect way to end the live. I love you guys. More soon. Ciao, Bella.